Okay, so in the kitchen on the bench, homeowner's gone to work. So these are the hours I can actually work on stuff. Out here, I did all the piano boxes and the sequencers in my room. So after looking at the schematics for quite a bit on this, I still got to find screws. Those are the only two screws holding that on. After looking at the schematic, I see a couple of paths that tie into that treble circuit. Come on. This is a pain to get out of here. I wouldn't doubt it at all if something got grounded that shouldn't be grounded. Yeah, there it is. Seems though you get it right, and it just comes right out easy. But, alright, so I'm going to grab my inspection magnifying light so I can get in there with my eyeballs close and see. I got my trusty tester out. I don't think it's a case of dropping 9 volts. I think it's a case of grounding out the pickup path somewhere along the way. And so it's only when treble boost is on and treble fuzz is on. Fuzz works fine, so the power is going through the circuit. So I suspect either a inadvertent ground or a bad capacitor. But alright, let me grab my magnifying mirror lens, lighted lens, and I'll be back. So I'll get the schematic out. The old pig nose on the bench. Got signal. I have no idea if this is in tune. So both pickups are working. Doesn't matter where that is when it's in the off position here. So that's the fuzz. Volume and tone are all the way up. Boom, dead. Hollow body. Okay, we're back on the bench with Jim's Hofner. Since the last video, I picked myself up a new meter, which actually measures capacitance, which my other meters did not. I've downloaded the circuit, the schematic for the TZ circuit, Hofner TZ, which is treble and fuzz. And so I've got all my components. I color coded them, listed how many there were of each. I looked at stuff online, and I can pretty much get all the components that I need. Of all the stuff here, I won't be able to measure this one, which is 250 millifarads, which this does not go up to, but all the rest of the capacitors I can measure. I'm suspecting that it may be this 50k ohm variable resistor, which is setting the bias on all my transistors. And so that could be the possibility that when it's in the treble mode, it shuts that right off. So let's open it up and get that out and have a look, and we'll measure some things up. So the The audio works if you don't have the circuit powered. When you power the circuit, it only works in fuzz. If you put it in treble or treble and fuzz combined, it goes completely silent. And I still haven't located screws for this control cover. There's only two. Okay, let's see if I can get this out of here. It's kind of a tight fit. I'll probably open this up and take the battery out of it before I start checking capacitors and stuff, just in case. And so, let's turn this over and get it in screen. Let's see how close to in that is. It's not going to sit there, is it? Maybe we can get it on top of this. Okay. So, alright, so this is a variable resistor right here, 50k ohms. And that's the one that's providing the bias control on all three of my transistors. So that could be out, and that is a little wobbly in there as well on the PC board. It's not loose, but it looks like it got pushed back. Use multimeters. If you have that set for resistance and test an energized circuit, you blow the meter up, even with a measly 9 volts. Or you blow a fuse if you're lucky. But either way, it's not what you want to be doing. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to test these capacitors without isolating them, but we'll give it a whirl. So you can see my 3 transistors are right here. This is that 250 millifarads, which this does not go up to. And then most of the other ones are 25 microfarads, a couple of 22 picofarads, and a 2.2 picofarad, nanofarad. I believe those are the same value, just different names. Okay, I'm going to run in the other room and grab me some more powerful glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, grab my more powerful glasses in my chair. I will try and keep things in the video, but I'm on autopilot here, so I won't be able to see what stays in the viewfinder. Okay. Huh, that could be wired wrong. So the schematic shows a break. So here's that 22 nanofarads. And that shows a break. And it looks like they just went across these two. That one would go between the tone and the volume with the 8K2 resistor in between. So yeah, that's kind of funky. The tone control should have one capacitor that goes to AK2 resistor, and the other one should, oh no, it goes across. That's right, it does go across. So there it is, it comes off this leg, through the cap, and then to the middle leg. And then that middle leg crosses, does not bond to this wire, and goes to the center of my volume control. And the output. Okay, so now the other thing I can check is the continuity here. This line here is my signal from my pickup selector switch. So that's the output from my pickups. When this power is off, it's connected up here, which runs it across to here, which runs it there and through everything that way. When it turned on, then this is connected here, which runs everything through my TF switch. So, all right, let's keep going here. Let's do some resistance tests. Okay, so I don't know why, but my camera backs all the way out, zooms all the way in, I should say, when it runs a full video. By that I mean, well, whatever the max is it can record. Okay, we lost the washer there. There it is. Duracell. Nine. Okay, so that's the fuzz circuit. No, that's a treble boost. It's working. Here's the fuzz. Well, how about that? something's not happy. Okay, just plug the soldering iron in. Got everything over here, ready to roll. Let's get that plug out of the way. Just get the less wires floating around here, the better. Nice thin solder here. Okay. Kind of need a little weight. I'll stick that on there just to keep that still while I'm working. I don't know if I need any solder, to be honest with you. This might, yeah, see, that's going to want to fight. I can hold it with my finger now, I guess. And that's it. Okay. Okay, we'll probably get a whole bunch of feedback when I hit this. So there's treble and fuzz together. That's just fuzz. And that's just treble. Beauteous. Okay, so now let's try and put this all back together and see if it works. Because now we're going to push this board around and fight that nut back on there. Look at it went. Actually, I'm going to try and squeeze that over that way a little bit and see if that doesn't make it a little easier to put that back in there. I'll tell you what, that was much, much easier than I thought it was going to be. That red and blue wire were both right up tight to that nut when I took it off. And so I was expecting quite a battle to get it in there. I would like to find some documentation on where to set that bias pot to control. But obviously both circuits are working now. And it could be that that was off a little. Don't know. But, okay, now I gotta get that battery all the way over the other side there somehow. That ought to be interesting. Get this stuff out of the way. And I'm thinking I might be able to put the guitar up on its side and drop the battery in and have it go down to the hole just by gravity. And get a hold of it that way. Look at, there it is right there. So now, if I can get it to come This is worse than dropping a pick in the guitar, guys. All you acoustic players. Battery's a little bigger. Oh, I almost got it. I got it. Look at that. Got it out of there. Nice. So we'll just set that out there for now. Get the rest of the solder and junk out of the way. Rago. And hemostats. Okay, and that's just got a piece of shrink tube on it. And squeeze that right up. And then pin that right on there. And hopefully we won't have any more issues when we put it back together. I'll tell you, this thing's been a handful for sure. So that's just drawing all the heat right away from this ground. I got it. That feels pretty cold. Come on. Oh, what's on there? All right. So we got it on there. Now it's a matter of getting this baby back in there. And again, that's just such a tough spot. It doesn't want to really give me any kind of room there at all. Yep, that's the same. Okay, it's on there. So before I put any screws in it this time, we'll test it out again and see. Treble Boost. Fuzz. No fuzz now. Oh wait, all the way down. Put both of those in the middle. Treble and fuzz. Hopefully this focuses up. And all I'm going to do is just add a drop of crazy glue to each of these holes. It's got crap on it from doing the clock earlier. Just to get a little bit for my threads and the screws to bite onto. And we'll just put that on there and let it dry. And a screw right through it. And that's just to give me a little more purchase on those threads. Nice. Alright, we'll let that set up. While I'm doing that, I'll go grab my Strobotuner and we'll tune it up. So, we'll let that spin for a minute. I don't know, is that in the camera? Yeah, you can see it a little bit, huh? We'll bring that up. Flip this up some. Alright, let me grab my tuning fork. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Alright, let's put this in regular mode. And it's picking up something. Shouldn't be. Oh, I need a little light, huh? So I can get this in A. There's A. Let's turn gain down. A little sharp. I want to touch the strings. Okay, that looks like the ticket. Almost want to turn that around. I wonder if I can put that around there and do that without wrecking anything. Okay, so we're going to turn this saddle around. This screwdriver bit though, a little too wide. This one's a narrow blade, but it's thinner, so it'll get in that slot. Hopefully I can do this without stabbing my fretting hand. Yeah, that screw was bottomed out. So, we're going to come in from the flat side and push the taper towards the pickups and the nut. Okay, a little room there. Let's try and get this out of the way here now. Okay, so I heard that shut off as I was getting it in place. Let's see how close we are now. Turn that down a little so I can see my screen better. So we're sure up now. Still sharp. Pretty good. Now we're flat. Good. So now we can back this up off the end, which is good. We're off it a little bit, but we'll get off a little more. Well, I gotta get that out of the way. That's got slap in it too. Look at that. Saddle moves back and forth quite a bit. So that's pretty damn good there. We'll have to check everything else again. Good enough. Back to my high E. That's out of the way. Nice. Good. Tough. It moved more than I wanted it to. Not bad though, a little drift high. Yep, I'll call that good. Yep. And we're all the way back to the G again, which is the one we just adjusted the saddle on. Okay, so we'll call that tuned. Let's plug into the peg nose. Go grab a pick. Both pickups. That's treble and fuzz. Just the fuzz. Okay, and the tone has an effect there. Not a lot though. Here's the treble. That's treble boosted. Treble volume. Fuzz boosted. Fuzz volume. Those are the volume down. Uh-oh. So, okay, so it looks like I just slipped the switch on the shaft. So, let's see what that's going to entail to repair. Hopefully it's just a regular old screw in there. Of course, it's next to impossible to get to now. Ah. Yeah, just flopping on that shaft. This might get right in there though. There it is. Okay, it works. I'm going to stop playing with it so I don't break it anymore. Okay. Success. We win. All right.